Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Modesto, corner of Burbank and Nicholson, welcome to the Cinco de Mayo edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Andy Isco with us today from Las Vegas. A Seminara with some picks, first class, second class, no class, and Cinco de Mayo, always a fun day. We got great weather to go with it. Jimmy, you know what today is in Mexico?
The celebration of the Battle of Puebla.
Tuesday. you told me that they don't really celebrate.
No, Martes. Martes.
You told me they don't really celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Mexico as much.
When I was in Mexico for Cinco de Mayo, I thought it would be a festive deal, and I'm telling some of the guys working on the Caleta, the marina, and said, Cinco de Mayo, okay? Which means what?
Yeah, right.
Huh? So, yes. I think it's the celebration of the Battle of Puebla against the French, but a lot of people in Cozumel sure didn't know in Cancun. So,
well,
not much more celebrated in the States.
Sure.
Without a doubt. And when you pull in, you can tell there is a celebration getting ready to happen. So it's kind of Modesto's version of maybe a football game day, with the band, the stage for the band, and outdoor bar set up, and tables and things like that. And like you said, man, kind of about 5 o'clock when that DJ's going and you got live music starting at 6:30. It's going to be very pleasant. Very pleasant. You were fortunate down at Jazz Fest.
Unbelievably fortunate.
On Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
Saturday. So Derby Day at Jazz Fest. So we were in a little bit different sorts. I don't think they had windows active at the fairgrounds for Derby Day when you were there.
I never got to that part of the. I never got to that part of the.
Trust me, they don't.
No.
Restrooms only. But anyway. It's festive, man. It's festival season, and it's Cinco de Mayo, and everything that's available on the menu on regular. A lot of people do limited, kind of scale down. Everything's available over here at so the tacos, the margaritas, the nachos, the ceviche, you name it, man. The tortas, we have it available over here, and it's going to be very festive over here at Modesto in the parking lot for Cinco de Mayo.
All right. And we also got as it turns out, a fairly important baseball game across the street tonight for LSU and Tulane.
Is it?
Well, it's one that let me work through this here. Is it going to gain them any RPI points? It is not. Tulane is well down.
You think they have a shot?
Well,
in the tournament?
I'm doing math. Do I realistically think that they have a shot? I do not.
Mathematically alive, yes.
Yes, and that's what we're doing right now. We're doing math. Jake Johnson kind of did this on his radio show last night.
It's a conference record.
Conference record's 9-15.
Okay.
You got to get to 13 wins.
You go 8-1 the rest of the way.
5-2 in the 7 games, the 6 conference games plus this one. This thing with Tulane.
Oh, I'm sorry. So 5-1, you can go.
You can go 4-2 in the conference, and if you win this one against Tulane, that's 5-2. That's 13-17. That would include 4 wins against Georgia and Florida, who are top 15 RPIs.
Okay, so we changed the goal line. It was 14-16 a couple of weeks ago when we discussed this.
Yeah, well, 14-16 is kind of a lot. 13-17.
No, but this is what your mark was.
I'm trying
you got to get to 14-16. Now you're lowering it to 13-17.
13-17.
A lot of people have flunked the tests. We're lowering the grade scale.
The bell curve, yeah.
Yeah, the curve.
13-17 over the last 10 years in the SEC get you in about 2/3 of the time. Okay, so you got to
13-17.
13-17,
Really?
get about 2/3 of the time. Not a lock. And LSU's non-conference record is not helping them any, but this is a game business. This is a don't lose it. Tulane's RPI is 145, so you're going to take a hit. 13-17 is no lock. It's going to give you a chance. I think you go 13-17 and you win this game against Tulane. You probably still got to win one in Hoover. But let's play along here with the math for a second. Yeah.
13-17, you better win one in Hoover.
That's why this RPI comes into it. At LSU at 55, if you beat Tulane, okay, fine. You stay slick. You lose to Tulane, it's going to cost you, and you're going to be right on the bubble, even if you win 4 games in the last 6 SEC. Which, again, I'm not expecting. I'm trying to be realistic about this. I'm encouraged by the freshmen play over the last couple of weeks. I'm encouraged.
Well, they're playing better.
They're playing better baseball. But do I think they're going to Georgia and win a game or two? I do not. Do I think that they're going to be –
Charlie, you'll never anticipate a sweep either way.
No. Do I think that they can win 4 out of the last 6? It's improbable. There'll be an underdog in all 3 games at Georgia. There'll be an underdog if anybody's paying attention when Aiden King pitches in the first game of the Florida series.
They will be an underdog against
That's
Aiden
at
King.
least 4 out of the 6 you're going to be an underdog, and you may be an underdog in one of the Friday or Saturday or Sunday games against Florida. So it's improbable. Is it mathematically alive? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna we're gonna stay with it and watch and see how this goes. Some of the things that they're working on. Okay, that's great. So don't lose tonight against Tulane. They've got a incredibly fresh bullpen. They only used over the weekend. They only used 6 guys. So you've got your 7 guys. So you got your bullpen pretty rested. You're not going to have Cowan tonight. Last week they had to use Cowan in the midweek game against Southeastern to make sure that they won, to keep them in the conversation. You don't have Cowan tonight. He was fantastic on Sunday. So some other guys are going to have to step up. They're going to have to get some time out of a Reagan Ricken or – gosh, I mean, you got just about everybody available to you except for the top 3. So Tulane, 23-26 overall coming into the box tonight.
I watched Tulane Southern Miss last week, midweek, and Tulane was able to come back and win it. I think it was maybe 7-6, something like that.
7-6 was the final.
Southern Miss had their openers, to say the least. I mean, it was they may have gone through 6 or 7 pitchers, and they started making pitching changes like in the first inning. I mean, it was an opener and then some. Let me see exactly how many.
That was Tulane's best win of the year. Their highest rank.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it was a little misleading. Southern Miss used 6 pitchers.
Yeah.
So 1 pitch, 2 innings, 0 innings, 1 inning, 3.2. It was. They did not use their best. It was quick hooks too, when it first kind of showed the signs. So it was anticipating that they were not throwing out their best. Just to give you an idea of watching the game last week.
And if I'm Southern Miss, that's exactly how I'm playing it. If you lose, you lose. Their RPI is 11. They're very much in the mix for a host site, and their strength of schedule is 9 in the country. For a team that doesn't play in a power league, well, that's pretty doggone good. So they lose that game. It's not really all that big a deal.
Well, they play non-conference against Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, all which top 15 or so. RPIs are close. I know Alabama and State are top 10.
Yeah, and they also have 3 games against Lafayette. That's a top 50. 3 games against South Alabama. That's a top 65. So there's, the Sun Belt's pretty good baseball. Like Troy is a top 70. Arkansas State's a top 50. There's some good baseball in that league. La Tech is a top 75.
Not to upset our 2 Tulane listeners, but they also used 8 pitchers in that game as well. So.
I don't know anybody that in the SEC anyway that's using a midweek guy that they expect to go more than about 2 or 3 innings. Every now and then you'll see somebody stretch out, but for the most part, they look at these as bullpen days. It's kind of been that way since they went to the shorter rosters. Back in the day when you could have 45 guys on your team, you find a guy that could pitch 5 innings for you on Wednesday night. That really doesn't happen anymore. anybody you use for 5 innings on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, you can't bring them back until maybe Sunday at the best. So they chop this up and they use it like a
Tulane's RPI?
145. Ooh. Long way from those games in the Superdome and at Turchin when Tulane was in their heyday. So LSU goes in, like I said, basically with a don't lose tonight and a
Jim Schlossnagel, the chief assistant, is far removed from assistantship at Tulane, huh?
Yeah.
Think they got an assistant that's going to go through the ranks like him? No, it's a rhetorical question.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right.
So,
at one point, Jake Gautreaux was a hot coaching candidate, but no, probably not.
But the player turned coach. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember him as a coach.
He was an assistant. It was a hot name for a while there. By the way, where Schlossnagel went from Tulane first, his first stop after
UNLV.
that. Yeah. Jay Johnson announced last night that LSU is going to play UNLV next year in Vegas. And they're going to play a 3-game tournament out there as well. So they're going to wrap around the tournament with a game against UNLV next March. We don't know who the tournament.
That's the one where he wants to get them in a hotel and kind of simulate a road trip.
Yep.
Okay.
So they're going to go to Vegas next year. We'll find out who those opponents are somewhere later on down the line. But they will be playing UNLV out there. Check and see if you know who the pitching coach at UNLV was for a while, and I'm not sure if he's still there anymore or not.
Greg Maddox, huh?
Greg Maddox, very good, from Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, and he lives in Las Vegas now.
Yeah, and he was their pitching coach for a long time. I'm not sure if he still is. I think he went to work for the Rangers after that. It's kind of a special assistant, but he was the pitching coach out there for nothing like having a college pitching coach that's won 350 games in the big leagues.
Yeah, he goes to Circa and throws out a ceremonial first pitch and does some Q&A.
That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. You ever heard him talk? Just sit here and talk baseball.
A little bit.
I've seen some YouTube stuff.
Gotta believe it's super. I mean, he didn't just go up and throw with overpower people with his stuff. I mean, he pitched. He was the guy that just location, pitch sequence. I mean, movement. I mean, he pitched. He didn't overwhelm people.
Some of the stuff he talks about is just so next level. Had
to be like a high school shortstop, though.
Maybe.
I mean, how many Gold Gloves does he have?
15, I think.
Is that many?
He beat Jim Cott. Jim Cott had the record forever. And
kind of blocked him out my mind a little bit, Charlie, when he left the Cubs.
I'm sorry, I shorted him. 18 Gold Gloves.
Oh, I'm sorry.
18. I shorted him 3.
18
Gold Gloves.
Who's closest?
Jim Cott, I think. For pitchers. I think.
About the early teen, low teens?
15, 14, 13, 14, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, Maddox is the king of that program. Come by and see us for Cinco de Mayo, man.
Yes,
here at
indeed,
Modesto on Burbank at Nicholson.
We love the tacos, man. We love the burrito, the enchiladas. The ceviche is outstanding, man. You talk about everything is available for our Cinco de Mayo celebration. So I mean, it's the queso, the quesadillas, the nachos, the different salads, the planchas, all the different sides. So the margaritas are, of course, the big the big star today for Cinco de Mayo. So you can do a whiskey Rita, a blueberry ginger mule. I mean, a rotating frozen margarita, pineapple jalapeno margarita, skinny berry margarita. So or you can kind of customize your own with all the different tequilas, tons of different tequilas that you can build your own margarita with as well. So everything on the regular menu is available today. Around 4 or 5 o'clock, we're going to do some. We have a DJ. 6:30, we're going to have live music over here. So it's business as usual, plus more out in the parking lot. So we've expanded our seating and our capacity over here to kind of flow into it. We're broadcasting today in the new expanded dining area as well. So that's one of the growth, and that's how popular things have been over here at Modesto on Burbank. So happy Cinco de Mayo. Come on by. Business as usual over here, and then some for Cinco de Mayo here at Modesto.
I shorted Cott 3. 16 Gold Gloves.
17 to 16.
16 for the former St. Louis Cardinal. We'll take a break live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New Handycast up on YouTube with Dan Canterbury talking about the LSU baseball. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026. Supporting our Louisiana farmers. Go to SupremeRice.com.
Love the name of that Handycast.
Yeah.
I love it.
Handycast.
It just works. Yes. Like it.
Lot of marketing went into.
I like it. It works.
Better than Sports Today, right? They like that one.
Sports radio show.
Yeah. Well, I'm every man, Jimmy. I'm every man. Last night in the NBA, the Knicks blew the Sixers out, but the real story was Game 2 and the surprise return of Anthony Edwards to the Timberwolves lineup. He didn't start, but he came off the bench and had 18 points, and the T-Wolves pulled the upset. Jimmy, with the announcement that he was questionable, I think, at the beginning of the day. He went out to shoot around. He had a big sleeve, kind of a bulky sleeve on it. They didn't think – they were kind of shooting – the thought was Game 3 when they went back home was when he would return. He came back.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said after the game. They said kind of Game 3 was what we thought he might come back.
Questionable for this game. Okay.
But the news broke in time for it to affect the line, and turns out affect the game because the T-Wolves pulled the upset in Game 1.
Yeah, the line had moved when I submitted kind of in the 2 o'clock hour to Hunt the pick. It was down to 8.5, and it was considerably higher than that. Now it got bet back up to double digits, and this game kind of it was lost. But we talk about a team generally doesn't go through the NBA postseason without any playoff experience and make a run. But the San Antonio team is so good, and Wembanyama is so impactful on the game. But they lost it because of playoff experience, or lack thereof. I mean, Wembanyama, he hasn't – it's been 25 games since he shot 8 3-pointers.
Missed them all.
Yeah. Hey, dude, you're off. Get down to the – I mean, continue to shoot them. I mean, you got to identify. You're off. You know what? You got to go down the classic case when you settle for a jump shot and you don't attack the rim. Settle. It's a classic case. Man, you don't want to go down there because they're going to bang on you a little bit more in the postseason when you attack the rim. That's just you're going to get it. You got a slender build, kind of a target physically. You're going to have. But he shied away from it, and he as a stand-up guy like he usually is, he took a lot of the blame and said, but they had to learn some things. Now it hurts. Minnesota's been in back-to-back conference finals in the West, where. That's the tougher conference, and they're kind of 25 minutes I think it was for Ant-Man last night. So, but man, when he got going, I think it was the second quarter, maybe late in the first, he started knocking. He was hot. He was really hot, and he is like, okay, this is going to be competitive. And they had a lead and kind of hung on, had as much as a 6-point lead in the last minute. And San Antonio had a clean look at 3 for Chapanier to win it, but he just could not knock it down. But this, to me, it's a classic case where this hurts their chances of getting out of this series. We might be in a competitive series now for them stealing this first win on the road. But if they do survive it, I think they'll benefit more from having learned. Kind of what I asked Henry yesterday. The path that Detroit took, did they gain some valuable playoff? Did they learn some things along the way? He said absolutely. So maybe San Antonio can learn some things along the way because of this loss as well.
Yeah, And De'Aaron Fox, who's not a great three-point shooter, missed all of his threes as well. And you talk about that playoff experience on the other.
You all from three attack the damn rim,
right?
I mean, it's pretty simple, huh?
No argument. And Fox, who's still as fast as anybody in the NBA, did not get to the free throw line a single time in the home game last night. And you talked about that that playoff experience. I think Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle for the T-Wolves have played a combined triple digits in career playoff games, okay? Gobert's played better than a full season of playoff basketball, and Randle has played with multiple teams over half a full season of playoff basketball.
Charles,
That's 130 some odd games of combined playoff.
How many
experience.
has Edwards played?
I got to check. I have to check because
I mean, he's played a lot as well. I mean, this team back. Conley was really good last night too.
Who's also been around forever.
I mean, he's got a lot of playoff experience, and they kind of talked about him calming him down as well in certain spots.
Edwards has now played better than half a season of playoff basketball, 46 games. So, yes.
You talk about a lopsided experience matchup. I mean, this is the team that's been to back-to-back conference finals.
That's a lot of playoff basketball.
Who else has done that?
On that side of the bracket?
No, period. Nobody, huh?
Well, on Saturday I might have said the Celtics have that much playoff experience, but they're gone. So Paul George has played a lot of playoff basketball. I'm going through it in my head. I don't think Maxi's been around long enough.
Did Indiana go to the conference finals the year before?
2 years ago, yeah.
They did? Well, they went to the finals last year.
The last year is what I meant, yeah. I thought you were talking about teams that are left in the playoffs.
No, period. Have to go on to the conference final. I think they're alone. I know that OKC got upset from Dallas before they got to the conference finals.
Yeah, they did.
Because Dallas beat Minnesota, and OKC beat Minnesota last year.
There's a ton of playoff experience on that team.
Yeah.
And that's hard to beat. But still a surprise in last night's game.
Of course. But when you look back, and no, it's easy to say now, but it is something we talk. They just obliterated. Listen, Portland has no playoff experience. That was their first round opponent.
Yeah.
They took care of them after losing that first when they had to come back in both games 3 and 4 from double-digit deficits in the second half of both of those, and they came back and they took care of business in 5. But this is a different level of playoff experience for Minnesota. And Minnesota's got it. And that's a nice win in the first round.
A very nice win. Wembanyama with an NBA playoff record, 12 blocks in last night's game, too. Game between the Knicks and the Sixers really wasn't much of one. Very evident, I would say, by the beginning of the second quarter that Philly was gassed. I mean, that was all they could do to come back. It was a great comeback. They win Game 7 in the Boston Garden. They were not. I thought they were gassed. And the Knicks this is the biggest stretch of 25-plus point wins in playoff history, what they did in the last 3 games against the Hawks plus this one. No team has won 4 by 25.
Last 3 games against the Hawks?
They won by 25 or more.
So it's 4 in a row?
It's 4 in a row, which has never happened.
I know they won by basically 100 the last 2.
Yeah. So they're hot. Philly was gassed. That was not much of a game. I didn't watch
give
second
Mike Brown
half.
credit, because he did try to up the tempo. They were also very hot, including Brunson. And so Brunson sometimes kind of slows it down, in the half court and kind of does his kind of, back down type of, and reads off of it. How about Karl Anthony Towns? He was knocking down perimeter shots. But he also, right after he knocked down a 3, he took Embiid off the bounce and attacked the rim for bounce. He's developing some point center type of moves as well and becoming a distributor. But the Knicks for such a long time have been a sideshow. It's been, whatever, we laugh at them. As much as the ESPN, Game 7 at home against the Pacers 2 years ago, that was a joke. I mean, it was a pep rally, then they got smoked in there. But their path, and if you look at it, who else from the East is going to provide the stiffest competition for whoever comes out the West? Probably OKC, maybe San Antonio, maybe Minnesota. But who is going to – it's the Knicks.
Yeah,
are they getting hot? Are they figuring some things out? They are deeper. They're much deeper than Philadelphia, and they pressed the issue last night, pressed the pace. So we discount them a lot of time as kind of a butt because everything out of New York is so overrated. It's so overblown. But this time, they're heating up and playing in form, could you say? I mean, 4 straight 25-point wins? I don't care who you play, where you play.
It's 3 straight plus a 16-point game. I had that one. That one wrong.
Okay.
So it's just 3 straight by 25 and the other one by 16, but they're still blowing everybody out. Karl Anthony Towns, 3 assists per game in the regular season, 6 assists per game in the postseason so far. He's got 2 double-digit assist games in the Hawks series.
They beat the Hawks by 50. Was it what?
The last game, it was a lot. 51.
And they beat the Sixers last night by how much?
37 to 39.
Okay, that's 90.
Yeah. And 29 against the Hawks in the second to last game.
It's game 6 and game 1 of the second round of the
They're
playoffs.
cruising.
I mean, they're playing for real now. It just seemed OG Anunoby is really in form right now. Towns is playing. Brunson. They got a lot of guys kind of at the top of their game right now. And a guy like Hart, who's so big, man, and so now with all the dirty work that he does and all the offensive glass to give you second possessions and things like that, man, they're playing scary good right now.
Knicks OKC would be a fun final. The champs trying to repeat against the Knicks trying to win for the first time since Willis Reed. Gotta go back a minute.
The stars are coming out in Madison Square Garden.
That would be kind of fun to see. They
would have games 3 and 4 there, but so we got to let this crew get there. But they are legitimately so many things that come out of that city, including the sports franchise, is just overblown, overrated, premature. They're kind of showing some real signs of being a threat. In this whole thing. And to me, it's the only team that could come out of the East and provide a threat right now.
Yeah,
Detroit's not ready.
No. They were lucky to get out of the first series.
There's so much on Cunningham. You're going to go – Tobias Harris going to score 30 every game?
No, not at this point in his career.
So, in Cleveland, I mean, no, they're not there as well. We've seen Harden. We've been through this for Harden when he was closer to his prime than what he is.
I kind of want to see the Knicks.
Well, we want to see a competitive.
Yeah, and I think that's our best chance.
That's our best chance. That's our best chance. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title for buying, building, or refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. They're a full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Megan Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Give us a call. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Modesto on Cinco de Mayo, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, how you doing, buddy?
Jimmy, as a long time New York Knicks fan, I am loving life.
Oh, here we go. We never heard this out of you till now, huh? I mean, you jump on the bandwagon, Andy. That's not like you.
Him and Colucci having lunch together today.
I grew up a Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan all my life. I was there at the 69-70 games, the Willis Reed game. And the when they won it a couple of years later, or 3-4 years later. No, I've been a long-suffering Knicks fan for many of those years, kind of like the Jets.
You were at the Willis Reed game?
Yeah.
Really? That's strong, Andy.
Game
Good
7,
job.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now that's worthy of respect. Okay.
I know Andy knows the answer to this, Jim. You know how many points he scored in that game against Chamberlain?
Not many. Was it like 4?
4.
Yeah.
He hit the first 2 buckets and then never scored
He had
again.
his first, and that was Walt Frazier had the big game that night.
Vince Stiller skipped the game.
But it was the answer. Well, you tell me, Andy. I mean, how much did that energize the team? How much, the intangible that brought to, the things we can't prove. How much of an impact was Willis Reed coming out on the team's success in that game?
If you go back, and they probably have some tape somewhere of what the arena sounded like when they saw him walking out of the tunnel. I don't think I can't recall hearing a louder roar in my life.
I got it, but how much of an impact did you have? The fans were all into it, but I mean, with the actual outcome of that game, how much did that, him showing? Because a lot of times when your best player, the guy that's hurting his most, can get out there and play through some pain, everybody's got aches and pains at that time. It just kind of it can energize them. It can motivate them.
It was a whole different era back then, where the players actually cared, and there was a lot of emotion shown. And back then you're talking 1969, so you're talking over 50 years ago, and the arena just erupted, and you have to believe that because the Knicks had not known a great deal of success for like the previous 15 years, since like the early 1950s. They were always just they barely made the playoffs. I think for like maybe 2 years before they won the championship. And so the city was thirsting for a championship, because this was actually when the Knicks won. They were following the Mets had won the World Series in October of '69, and the Jets had won it back in January of '69. So New York was on a roll, and they were expecting big things out of the Knicks, and it didn't look very good after he got injured in I think that Game 5. But you could tell that you could just tell in the movement of the way the players were. They were very much, even after he came out of the game, they just continued to play with max effort. I mean, this was the New York Knicks of that era were fundamentally sound. They played what you would call true basketball. They were looking for the pass. They were assists were very important, and they played very, very solid defense.
How serious of a threat? Now they're basically even money to win the East, a much longer shot to win it all. There's no doubt about that. But how much of a serious threat are they to win it at all?
Well, I remember doing a couple of shows. I don't recall it was you, your show, because I don't think I had made my mind up at that time before the playoffs started. But my prediction that I did on one of the podcasts I do was the New York Knicks making it to the NBA Finals, losing to Oklahoma City.
Well, that's a shock. I mean, those are the two favorites in the conferences. Oklahoma City's minus 250, and the Knicks are basically even money.
They weren't at the start of the tournament. At the start of the playoffs, the Knicks were not favored at all. They were competitive, but Boston was pretty much the favorite. I think Cleveland was second, and maybe the Knicks were third in the East.
Right. So, but what do you think? They're going to go to the finals and lose to OKC. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it does look like the Spurs, if they advance now, are in a tight series after dropping Game 1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is only likely to increase his minutes as we go into the series. They'll be back tomorrow.
I do seem to recall when we did the show, I felt that the winner of the Minnesota-Denver series would be the team that plays Oklahoma City for the Western Conference Championship. And now, however, once the news came out the other night about Edwards, being out, and they thought it was going to be an extended absence, that I couldn't really stand by that one anymore. But now I still feel that that Minnesota will be able to get by San Antonio. I think we talked about it, and you brought up the point about the lack of experience for San Antonio. And I remember saying, well, I wasn't as concerned as most because of Wemby and how he can carry a team. But now he's going up against a healthy Minnesota team that has, several solid players that can contend. You got the Ant, of course. You got Gobert. And you've got Randall, who I think, you got three nice options on that team, especially Gobert with the defense.
We've also seen a shift in odds, obviously, in the American League Cy Young Award winning, because it's going to be 2 to 3 months now for back-to-back American League Cy Young Award winner and Tarek Skubal. So he is out with some surgery for 2 to 3 months now, and they have taken him off of the board. Now your favorites, two Yankees at the top. Cam Schlittler at plus 230. This is of our friends here locally at the DraftKings outlets at the Queen and Bally's. Max Fried plus 290. Then Dylan Cease 5-1. Jose Soriano, who got beat last night, plus 650. DeGrom 13-1, Brian Wu 15-1, and so on. So this is throwing a real monkey wrench into the AL Cy Young Award future board.
Yeah, and I give them credit for taking Skubal off, and you can't bet it, even though some people might still say he's got maybe 2 months he could play. But, I mean, he's got no chance. But so often we see these players still stuck on the board unless they're ruled out for the season. So I commend the books that have taken Skubal off. I like what I've seen out of Schlittler, who had that big debut last year in the playoffs against Boston. He's pitched extremely well. Frieda's been off to a very solid start, but there's so many things that can happen, especially, and we saw it with Skubal, but we also see it with other pitchers often. It's so difficult to make a season-long futures bet on a pitcher. Whether the only ones that I can recommend is if you are negative and you want to bet pitchers under a season win total, that's okay, because the injuries to pitchers can often be several months, if not for the season. We see that probably more than with any other position in any other sport as far as impactful injuries occur. So I can't play a pitcher like a Fried or a Schlittler at such low odds, because there's always the injury risk for pitchers, and of course for Schlittler there's also the lack of experience, even though he's certainly passed every test. So if I were going to look at someone who has a good history and has been pitching well early, maybe a guy like DeGrom at 13-1 is worthwhile. He's a proven commodity. He's recovered from his injury that sidelined him. But even there's always concern about injuries.
You got to wonder how much money this is going to cost Skubal. And I'm thinking back to the World Baseball Classic when they're like, look, man, he's in a contract year. This is his one big shot. He's 29 years old. He's as hot as any pitcher in the American League. He's in a contract year. This is his time. And so you're going to give him every bit of it so he doesn't get hurt. And he went into the year. Now, he got his arbitration year this year for $32 million, but there's no time on the contract past this. How much is this going to cost him with the next contract?
And he's also removed himself from very tight postseason games, when it a little early as well. So he's done everything he can, but he still breaks down. We'll have to see. When's the last time we've had a back-to-back Cy Young Award winner?
Back-to-back
Cy Young.
I mean, I don't know any off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't remember.
Anybody since Randy Johnson?
No, besides him.
Randy Johnson?
DeGrom and Scherzer.
Oh, DeGrom.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Randy Johnson.
I went back too far.
Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. So Skeens is currently 2-1. He's the favorite. Yamamoto from the Dodgers 4-1. Chris Sale, who won it 2 years ago, Skeens' rookie year, is having another great season this year, plus 450. Shohei Ohtani, who I've got some 25-1 tickets on, at plus 750. Max, Andy mentioned the DeGrom. That's your team. You follow the Rangers very closely. Your thoughts on him, his chances?
Well, it's interesting. They just don't really score many runs. They don't allow many runs at home. It's when they go on the road that things open up a little bit. But DeGrom is having a much better season than last year. Ultimately, as Andy mentioned, he's got to stay healthy, and we haven't really seen that throughout much of his career. But he's kind of back to his normal self that you're used to seeing.
About 70% of their home games going under this year?
I think it's over that, actually. I mean,
Really?
It's been a very high clip, but they have struggled to score there in Globe Life Park.
Andy, is there an exhale spot for you Knicks tomorrow night with the big number against Philadelphia?
Yeah, it's a game I'm probably not going to play. The Knicks, if you take a look at what they've done their last 4 games, I think it started in Game 4 against Atlanta when they won by 16, and then they won, 3 really blowout games in a row after that. So you have to think that it's not necessarily an exhale game, but you just wonder how much energy they would have expended. And, part of it, they did have an advantage. They, Boston taken to those 7, Philly taking those 7 games against Boston. Not a lot of rest after that, and now not a lot of rest going into 2 games. So I probably won't play Game 2 unless I decide after watching, say, the first 15, 16 minutes I see something there. But normally you would expect that this would be a down, not a letdown spot, but the ease-up spot for the Knicks. But the way they're playing with so much enthusiasm and so much energy, you would have thought that maybe Game 6 would have been an area where they would have backed up after having that great win in Game 4 and Game 5, and Atlanta playing for their season in Game 6. And that was no contest. I think Atlanta led 9-5, and that was the highlight for the Hawks in that game because that was, I think, the blowout there. So I want to see what happens in Game 2.
Okay.
Game 3 is the one that I probably get involved in. If the Knicks are up 2-0, maybe that's where I take a shot on Philadelphia plus the points.
All right, real quick, with about 20 seconds, but anything on tonight's or tomorrow night's games beside the Knicks? Pistons 3.5 for the Cavs. Oklahoma City 15.5 over the Lakers, and the Spurs in a bounce back 9.5 over the T-Wolves.
Yeah, the only one of those three that you mentioned will be tonight, Cleveland plus the 3.5.
Okay. Cleveland plus the 3.5. Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. VegasAndy711. Andy, thank you so much, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right, don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine, you got to call our friends over at Relief Windows. These things cost money, okay? So you don't want to be replacing them every 6, 8, 10 years like I had to. Do it right the right way and call Relief Windows, 288-8138. Built using Arlas wood, the gelled wind wood windows that come from Relief Windows, or gelled wind wood frame windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rat and termites. They last against these extreme South Louisiana weather conditions. They're functional, they look great, and they last. So give them a call at 288-8138. They're open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. I got my wood windows from Relief Windows. Again, look good, functional, and they last. Call Relief Windows, 288-8138.
Live at Modesto for Cinco de Mayo, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You can get your invitation to the Met Gala last night. Mine got lost somewhere, too.
I had my suit I had it all picked out.
What would you have worn to the Met Gala last night?
A very nice suit, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something unique or something kind of conservative? LSU was represented there last night.
Burrow was there.
Justin Jefferson was there.
Okay.
Angel Reese was there.
Okay.
Mondo Duplantis was
Mondo
there.
Duplantis was there.
Really?
I thought Jefferson had it wasn't a tuxedo with tails. It was a black suit with tails to it, a little bit different. Burrow wore.
There's a lot different.
I liked what Jefferson wore. I'm not really sure what Burrow was wearing. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a suit. I guess it's a suit, but what would you call it, Max? It had a.
I didn't see it.
It looked like an old seaman's coat. The old sea captains. They'd have those big pullover coats. It was like a navy blue.
It's kind of like a velvet sort of. Navy. Yeah,
I thought Jefferson's was more classical. I'm
not talking about the fabric, Max. You're talking about the style.
But I'm a big haberdasher.
Joe Cool can overdo it sometimes with the outfits.
He didn't overdo it last night. He didn't go with something with
There's no such thing as overdoing it at this thing.
It's like a robe almost.
Right there. First class, second class, no class. Coming up from Modesto.
Live at lunch.
104.5 years.
Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Like I become like school on Sunday. No class. I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And we return here at Modesto for Cinco de Mayo. Crowd's starting to build here a little bit for lunch, Jim. It's going to be a really fun time later this afternoon.
Always a little bit more busy for lunch. A lot of people enjoying the lunch today. Full menu is available. So a lot of places on Cinco de Mayo will kind of do a specialty menu, kind of more refined. But, no, the full menu is available. The drinks, every All the margaritas that we do normally are still available, so come on by and see us. We just expanded our seating and our capacity will spill over into the parking lot. So we've got DJ starting at 4 o'clock, live music at 6:30. So weather is cooperating. It is going to be very mild for Cinco, so not nearly as warm as it usually is. And so, man, check out the festivities all day, all night over here, but really ramps up about 4, 5, 6 o'clock over here at Modesto and Burbank.
We mentioned this yesterday, but first class for me this week, as soon as I kind of read the story and saw the results of the Kentucky Derby, it was an easy call for Cherie DeVoe, the first female trainer to ever win the Kentucky Derby. And, Jimmy, I thought you had a great line yesterday about this is not some type of deal that was handed to her. This is not nepotism. This is not, something that was gifted to her. She started out as an exercise rider, which is, we know a little bit about this, one of the most difficult and thankless. I mean, you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're at the track at dawn. It's hard work, and it's a lot of work. It's time-consuming, and it's got to be a labor of love because a lot of people, it's not exactly, it's like the most lucrative profession.
No handouts, man. No handouts. No concessions. No lighter weight load. No head start.
She worked her way up.
And you know what? So when she does get it done, like she did on Saturday, the respect factor through the industry is off the charts. I mean, everybody is just really going out of their way because that's the ultimate. We hear it all the time. It's worn out in motivational angles. They didn't respect this thing, but it is a big deal, and she is getting all of the accolades, all of the respect because she deserves it. And she had if anything, it's a true where she had a harder route than most because there aren't a whole lot of successful or just it's a male-driven industry position, and man, the way she did it and stuck with it, and no, it's super to watch her see it. They did interview. I saw the interview. I watched the replay last night. I'm still the Japanese horse, 1/3 of the stretch, looks so tough to beat, and then I'm still trying to figure out. Well, I know how her horse beat, the favorite, Renegade. Because her horse didn't get banged around as much. But her veteran jockey was patient and saved ground and gave it a chance. And they said, "What are you thinking when you're watching a race?" I'm worried about the pace. I'm trying to see if the pace is going to set up to where she didn't say it. I'll paraphrase. See if we had a chance and follow it up. But just cool, man. Really cool. And when you do it the right way, and there's no concessions and no favors and no the lightweight, whatever, because she's a female, you get the respect. And she's getting it all, and damn it, good for her.
I'm also reminded that Golden Tempo broke his maiden at the fairgrounds, which was kind of a cool little aside story to it. I believe it was the Lecomte Stakes. Broke his maiden at the fairgrounds.
But did not participate in the Louisiana Derby?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. Anyway, very good story with Cherie DeVoe.
Great story.
Second class, the SEC baseball tournament coming up in a few weeks down in Hoover is going to use the ABS system, the Automated Balls and Strikes Challenge system, on an experimental basis. Every team's going to get 3 challenges. It's going to work almost exactly like it's working in Major League Baseball. You'll have just a few seconds after the pitch to make an appeal, the batter, the pitcher, or the catcher, and each team's going to get 3. You get it right, you retain. Get an extra one in extra innings if it goes that far. Jimmy, you watch more Major League Baseball than I do in the regular season for sure. Max, what's the success rate so far? About a little over a month into the season?
There have been 2,160 attempts of an overturn. 53% have been successful.
Okay, so a little bit better than half the time they're overturning these things. Your early returns on the ABS, don't like?
Oh, A+. Love it. Love it. It's the execution of it is flawless.
That's the thing I like the best.
I mean, they put it up, and it's what we've seen in tennis.
Yeah.
Of the Cyclops. I mean, they show it, and the crowd gets into it. They like to see it. There's some strategy, layers of strategy. I've seen the first pitch of the damn game challenged and got wrong.
Yeah.
Like that's Sean Payton on steroids. I mean, this is you can't let the pitcher do it because he's emotionally attached and he thinks he might get a pitch. You got to let the catcher do it. So that's a thing.
Better angle.
And you see some hitters who are better at it than others. So they're learning, and I think I would say that 53% is going to go up because they're learning, and also the managers are learning, who to trust. You know, who is it? Was it Tim Duncan, as great as he was? It was never a foul he didn't commit. Complained about. It's just, the type that's never interfered in coverage. Or a guy that's never not interfered with on an incomplete pass. Those type of guys. But the other thing is, keep in mind that ball could be completely outside the zone, but just touching the frame of the strike zone, that's a strike. And guess what? A lot of times that was called a ball and sort of agreed upon by a lot of people that was a ball. But it's just touching it, and it's kind of expanded the strike zone a little bit.
You talked about the managers and who they trust to make these calls. The umpires are human, and I'm going to use an extreme example, but back in the 80s when umpires got a close call for Tony Gwynn got the benefit of the doubt, or Wade Boggs.
The guy who gets the benefit of the doubt before this more than anybody is Juan Soto.
Okay, so that's
he has
that's
an
a modern
unbelievable
example.
eye. So he's pretty good, and he gets the benefit of the doubt. And then you got guys like Judge, and Trout.
If there was a close pitch, somebody like Gwynn or Boggs would get the benefit of the doubt. Somebody like Dave Kingman wouldn't. Okay, a free swinger, or Reggie Jackson wouldn't necessarily get the benefit of the doubt on that call. And I would think that as this evolves, you may have lesser challenges, but more of a success rate with it.
We have stats on this for the batters. Teoscar Hernandez, the best rate, 4 for 4. You mentioned Trout.
But he's highly selective.
He is.
Trout
and
that's a
Judge
low amount.
are up there. They're in the top 10 among batters. Catchers, you look at it. You could look at Mitch Garver, Carson Kelly of the Cubs, Dylan Dingler of the Tigers. Interesting, Jimmy, this is a question. You watch a lot of baseball. Which home plate umpire has had the most successful overturned?
You see, and that's, I don't know exactly. I don't watch the games where I identify with the umpires as much. Maybe it's a fault of mine because it is part of it used to be part of the the handicap, and it's not as much anymore.
Less important, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it's worked both ways. It has shown some umpires up, and it has shown how good some umpires are.
No doubt.
It's done both. So do we not want that? But let's be fair. Oh, no umpire wants to be wrong. No umpire wants to be. And the thing about it takes the emotion out of it. It's like, where's the McEnroe uproar? Chuck flew, and he's screaming at them. They got to create things to complain about, get on the chair about now, okay? Because they can't just argue a line. They've taken it out of. They've taken this out of it. Boom, it's over. The emotion. Oh well, it was a strike.
Now,
I
gotta add the other element to this. In Major League Baseball, these umpires are full-time. They are unionized. They are well-paid, and they are, look, I know they miss calls, but they're really, really good. College umpires, this is a part-time gig for these guys, okay? The old Skip Burtman line, see, they're not really umpires. See, they're butchers and insurance salesmen. And that's true. They all have full-time jobs. They do this on the side. Some of them are very good, and some of them are very bad. I've watched, games for a long, long time. I don't know that they're not going to have the accuracy level that Major League umpires have. So I'm all for getting it right.
But that's okay. It takes 5 seconds.
Yeah,
and it's
if
done.
they can do it like this, I'm all for it. I'm saying, get
but
yourself
watching
ready
some
because
of these college baseball games, not everybody has the same level of production crew.
Sure.
No, they absolutely don't.
To your point, Jimmy, Hunter Windelstedt has the most, but Laz Diaz gets a lot of flack.
Has the most what?
Most successful challenges of strikes or balls.
So they challenge him the most, and he has the highest.
But he has a lot of games. Not everyone's buying the home plate as much. He had 29 challenges successful against him. But like Laz Diaz gets a lot of flack, but he's not as bad as people might think when you look at the stats.
Wendelstedt is getting called out on an ejection from some Giants players because he was a little bit short-tempered, short-fused with the young college manager with the San Francisco Giants right now. Watching him again, as you asked me to, Charlie, his demeanor during the games, he is dialed it back. He is chill. He is blend in, and they're a team that is struggling, predictably so. And some are going to get on them about his managing. It's not about his managing. It's about his roster. So, but his piss and vinegar type of deal at Tennessee, that's gone, Jack. You wouldn't recognize him.
The no class is not really a no class as much as I just want to put this into perspective because we finally got last week the Big Ten's revenue distribution. I've been waiting on this because we got to talk about money when we talk about college athletics. The SEC did this earlier in the spring, actually did in February. They distributed more than $1 billion to their members. This is for fiscal year 24-25. The SEC has a smooth distribution model. Everybody gets the same thing. Doesn't matter how good you are in any sport. $72.4 million was what they got. The Big Ten does not do a smooth distribution model. They have things like college football playoff participation and other factors, and they have members right now in Oregon and Washington that are not receiving full shares and won't for the next several years. Ohio State got $91.5 million for the fiscal year. Penn State, who was a semifinalist in football that year, got $88.9 million, some $19 million for Ohio State, more than every SEC team. The average for the full members was between $76 and $79 million. We knew this would come in a little bit ahead of the SEC, but we didn't know how much. Turns out somewhere between $4 and $7 million per year more for the average Big Ten school, not counting Oregon and Washington, than the average SEC school. Something else happened last week when we talk about revenue distribution to colleges, and the ACC is lagging behind. Their average closer to $45 million. They also do not do a smooth distribution model. It's based on how you do. Duke went out last week and cut their own deal with Amazon Prime. Duke basketball, of course. They're going to put 3 games on Amazon Prime next year. They wouldn't release how much money they got, but they did insinuate that where was this money going? NIL. So Duke basketball, who can't put ACC games on Amazon Prime because they got a deal with the league, right?
Non-conference.
Took 3 of their non-conference games and put them on Amazon Prime. Which games did they pick? Well, some real low-profile games like Duke Michigan, Duke UConn, and Duke Gonzaga going to be on Amazon Prime next year. 3 marquee non-conference games. Jimmy, how long before SEC and Big Ten teams are doing this? For football.
The non-conference?
Yeah.
Got to schedule tougher.
Yes, you do.
So they get 1 a game? They get 1 a year? LSU get their obligatory one.
Right now,
South Carolina, Clemson.
Right now, they're under contract for the non-conference games too. So it's not going to be a thing next year or the next. But it's one of the things that you're looking at in the future is individual distribution rights. And there was a piece today in USA Today about how long does Ohio State want to split revenue with Minnesota?
That cuts into the SEC network too, Charlie. So that's
another thing. Yeah,
that would be. It's interesting.
When we come around to the playoff,
and nobody in the SEC has Duke marketability basketball.
If Kentucky wasn't under contract for the
SEC non-conference,
they would be the closest, obviously, for basketball.
So why is it Duke non-conference the ACC?
Well, because there's obviously a deal in the ACC where they can do this. It caught me by surprise, too. I didn't think that they could get out of it.
Big Ten was more in the SEC distribution?
On the average by $7 million.
$7 million?
Yeah. And so when we talk about the next playoff format, and is it going to go to 24 teams? And that's what the Big Ten is pushing really hard.
76 in basketball.
Yeah,
looks going to that.
They've got more money, and it doesn't seem like they've got a lot more money, but for the moment, they've got enough more money to where they're swinging a little bit more weight in these playoff discussions and these tournament discussions in the SEC.
The increase in the football playoff system is way more of a big deal than the increase in the basketball. When they come to Thursday, they'll have 64.
Yeah,
that's the first Thursday, the first full weekend. They'll be 64. There's just a few more play-ins. We didn't go crazy when they brought in the first few play-ins.
No.
Just didn't. We didn't go crazy. So why are we going to go crazy now?
It's not really
it's such
about
a non-factor.
those games.
In football, I think it's so much more of a bigger deal.
And you're right in the fact that it's not about those games. It's not about those games on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's about the number of teams that they can say are going to the postseason. That's why they're so much into this. They want their 9-9, not even 9-9. They want their 7-11 teams in to say we're in the NCAA tournament, and that they can go back to their advertisers and their distributors and say, hey, look, we got all these teams in the NCAA tournament. That's why they push for this thing. I'm with you. The 6 other games, hey, look, it's afternoon and night basketball on Tuesday and Wednesday. We do it for months. It's not really that big of a deal money-wise for those games. It's the perception of it that they're pushing so hard. Anyway, Big Ten's rolling in dough at the moment. But that Duke basketball thing really caught my attention. It's like, wait a minute, they can go out and make a side deal outside of the league just because it's them. Guess who else is looking for revenues?
I would do Kansas.
Kansas, and maybe Kansas is
a big-time candidate.
And that's for basketball. When these current distribution deals run off of football, why isn't Ohio State going to go out and say, hey, we're playing Texas non-conference. Why should we share any of that money with Minnesota or Purdue?
Less is more. Less teams in the tournament, less TV options, but that's not what money says. Money talks.
No, Amish boy. They're going after more. They're going after more
Tell
money.
me the last time they reduced it. But the football had to increase. I mean, it was a two-team playoff. It was a 4-team playoff. But it's 128 or now 130 D1 teams. I mean,
I think 8 was as much as I wanted to go, honestly. But
and this may
I want as many as they can because they're forced to play quality games that mean something.
This may turn into a first class.
Yeah, they are.
If Ohio
State,
State
about
Texas,
top 20 teams that have to play each other.
Ohio State could just mail in the season. They're going to go 8-4 and getting in.
Yeah, but
they're going to get in regardless if it's 8 or 20.
So why do they have to play anybody?
Well, because
no. I'm talking about
these
when
deals.
They play. When you have 20 teams, you play
the actual playoff itself.
Yes.
Well, I want the regular season to matter, and I don't think that's going to matter.
Have you put on the TV? Do they look like they don't matter?
I think if you expand it 24,
you're telling me the teams aren't trying, the atmospheres don't care.
I think it's going to matter less if you go to 24.
Well, this may be the window to get them in, because if you say, hey, look, 24 teams in the college football playoff, we'll just play Eastern Michigan. Oh, wait, if you play Texas, Amazon Prime will give you $120 million. Well, wait, now I'm picking up the phone now. You got my attention. We're brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. 90 years in business, man. You're doing something right since 1936 down in southwest Louisiana. All of our Supreme Rice, grown, milled, and processed in southwest Louisiana, supporting our Louisiana farmers. The jasmine rice, the parboiled rice, the low glycemic rice for diabetics, brown, the long grain, the medium grain. Pick it up wherever you pick up rice. You're going to save some money. You're going to support our Louisiana farmers. You're going to get a delicious product. They're part of the Climate Smart program, reducing methane emissions and promoting water conservation. For more information, great recipes, go to SupremeRice.com. Live at Modesto on Cinco de Mayo, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, also with locations in Pierre Part, La Rose, and Lockport. For Mother's Day, you're looking for a unique gift, Cypress Furniture. Custom-made Cypress Furniture, chairs, rocking chairs, gliders, swings, benches. Give her a Mother's Day gift that she will love from the Thibodeau Store. And if you're getting your yard in shape here as we head towards the summer, Lawn and garden tools on special right now. Patio furniture on special right now. Seats available just for mom that you can put out on the back patio around by the pool. Outdoor cooking equipment, plentiful, along with all of the accessories at the Thibodaux store. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, also useful for fishermen going down to the coast. Lots of equipment there on Highway 70 in Pierreport. And now lumber delivery available out of Lockport and Pierreport. Go to thethibodauxstore.com. You can get to all 4 locations from that website, thethibodauxstore.com. NBA playoffs continue tonight. Game 1, Lakers and Thunder, and also the Pistons and the Cavs. Jimmy, I looked at this morning, and I don't know, 15.5 seems like a really lot of points for a second-round playoff series, but that's what it is.
If you want
them. I do not. But I just thought that was a lot for a second-round playoff series, because if you get this far, you've done something good. 15.5-point underdog in Game 1. That's what the Lakers are tonight.
I think it could get very, very ugly, or maybe as ugly as Oklahoma City wants it to be. And I think the defending champs will be ready to play. They're rested. They didn't take their foot off the gas in the Phoenix series. They went out and beat them comfortably in both of those games as well. And it's funny. SGA was a little off in that first game, only 5 of 18, but man, he really ramped it up after that. Man, 38 of 60 from the floor. I mean, that is a high number. In the postseason, and then you throw in that, well, when he gets to the line, he's very, very good as well. So 29 of 32 from the stripe as well. So he is who's they going to match up with him? I mean, he's going to do what he wants.
He's averaging 34 points a game, shooting 55% from the floor. Those are 1980s center numbers.
And like those are 95% from the line.
Yeah, those are Moses Malone numbers. I mean, you don't shoot 55% and score that many points. I mean, Jordan.
I agree.
Jordan averaged 32, I think, a game. Probably a little bit more than that in the playoffs, and shot 52% from the floor. Okay, and I'm not. SGA is not Jordan. Okay, not yet. But these numbers are ridiculous. This is over 2 seasons now, too. I mean, the run to the championship last year and backing it up again this year. It's a 15.5.
I think it could get really ugly. So, Luka's probably going to be out for games 1 and 2 of this. They might try and bring it back in game 3 when they go to L.A., but LeBron's worried more about them, putting him number 2 behind Jordan on some of their all-time lists. So he gets a little upset. But look, give LeBron credit, man. That's a hell of an accomplishment to get past Houston in the first round. Houston was certainly they had their own problems. A team that last season in the postseason was so starving for a shooter. They got their shooter and they didn't have him for most of the series in the Lakers series. But still, for a team that's so limited and so deep in the roster that they had to dig into and get some production out of them. And I thought it was LeBron that really set them up and allowed those guys to put in position for them to be successful. So this is a totally different animal here in OKC.
Let me see if we learned something or if we have to go to every team is different. The Sixers climbed out of a 3-1 hole. Very emotional game for them on Saturday. They win in Boston. They get to New York on Monday, and they're out of juice. They get run out of the building by the Knicks. The Pistons had to crawl out of a 3-1 hole. Had to win a Game 7. Not as emotional, obviously, as the Philly-Boston series, but they had to expend a lot of energy.
Friday was emotional.
That's right. On Friday it was. And then they got to expend a lot of energy to get out of that series. They turn around 2 days later, and they are a favorite tonight at home. I'm very tempted to go with Andy Isco here. I think I'm jumping on that bandwagon, take the Cavs and the points tonight. 3.5.
I don't know. I think Detroit may have grown, with the path to get out of it. Keep in mind, it's the one thing that we do know the odds to win the division, the win total, the spreads on their games, when they picked up Harden, I think they won like their first 8 or 9 games. And, man, the odds makers just really gave them a boost. There, if you're betting Cleveland, you were laying more points, you get less points, you get shorter prices on future bets. The whole thing, they love them and a little bit too much for me. The Pistons are still a team that, didn't allow them to get, I think, closer to like 7.5 or 8.5 games over the course of the season. So we know it's a different season. We know Cleveland has more playoff experience. There's no doubt about that. But I'm more indifferent on this thing. I am. One thing I'm not reaching out to Cleveland for any type of. I'm not looking to jump on them. I've seen this Harden show in the playoffs. I mean, at the most pivotal times, he will go into and look. And sometimes where he's hit some big games, but man, he is not dependable when it comes to the postseason. So I do think that the Pistons got a little bit of a problem as far as their number 2 guy for most of the season was Duren. Well, Duren's going to have a hard time. He didn't have a hard time in the first series against Orlando. He's going to have a real problem against Allen here. One thing that Allen can do, he can defend the rim. And so Duren's really going to be – can a guy like Tobias Harris or some of their secondary – we know that Cunningham's going to show up. We know he's going to be there. But, man, they got to have a second scorer. Who it comes from game to game, I don't know. Because Duren, who had his problems in the first series, is a matchup problem for him here.
Cavs and Pistons at 6 o'clock tonight. Lakers and Thunder at 7:30.
Don't forget our friends over at K&M Automotive on Segan Lane, 8445 Segan Lane, just off of Perkins Road. Jason Payne, he's going to give you an honest deal. Going to try and find you a less expensive repair option before he goes to a replace type of method. So tires, air conditioner, the engine light comes on. Bring it in. We'll figure out what is going on. But one thing about it, it's never a great time to go get a car repair. But when it's all said and done, you're going to know that your money was legitimately spent for all the right reasons. It's the only place I take my vehicle, 8445 Segan Lane, just off of Perkins, across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery. It's K&M Automotive.
Live from Cinco de Mayo at Modesto. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, so I was out on Friday and Ace, another Major League winner with the total and the Colorado Atlanta going over easily, and also the Raptors outright winner in overtime in their Game 6, which forced a Game 7 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everybody had their struggles in trying to predict the Derby, so it wasn't much there. But Ace, your thoughts on the Derby, though, looking back on this historical win for a female trainer?
Well, very excited for her, and obviously to have a breakthrough victory like that can only, put hope for all those little girls out there who have those dreams, and they're in there cleaning those stalls and doing the little dirty work to be able to climb up the ladder, and now to be able to have somebody like that to look up to, just really couldn't be any happier for her. But good news is on our horse, Jimmy, I think he caught the butterfly, and I believe he's back in the race. So he should be crossing that finish line anytime soon.
Yeah, but was the morning line favorite and Renegade, but then go off. I mean, a lot of support for So Happy. That kind of surprised me a little bit with the inexperience with the whole scene, and that maybe the human interest story provided some of that. But man, if they don't get slammed coming out the gate, I mean that affected like 5 or 6 horses, man. They had to overcome. So I mean, to run that race after getting slammed, man, I came away with a lot of respect for Renegade.
Yeah, you know what? He absolutely was in there and gave some of his fans at least some hope there coming down the stretch. It'll be a different story, obviously, with the next race, the Preakness coming up in a couple of weeks. I might very well be attending that. been there and been a part of that a couple of years. But if I can, Jimmy, I'd like to offer all your listeners an opportunity. As you mentioned, 8-1 right now on the on-air baseball picks, and we won again in the NBA playoffs last Friday with Toronto. Absolutely just a tremendous run right now in the NBA playoffs, and we're going to keep it going. But I'd like to offer all your listeners an opportunity to get involved at my service. All you got to do is text the word free picks to 631-805-6165. That's it. No hassles. You'll receive my top-rated free play every day. Usually around like 8 Eastern time, 10 o'clock your time, you'll get that text of whatever play I have that day is my top-rated free play. Could be in the NBA playoffs, could be in the NHL playoffs, could be in baseball. So again, just text the word free picks to 631-805-6165, and you'll be on board receiving my free picks.
Let's get to the games, and let's start off with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani. I'm not liking pulling against the homeboy in Paul Skeens, but I am locking at 25-1 ticket that I have with Shohei Ohtani. He was vocal. He said he was, interested in, trying to build on that National League Cy Young. So he's on the road again tonight and at Houston. The Yankees win last night. Now on the road here, it's minus 232, the DraftKings outlets here at the Queen and Bally's. But you're more interested in reducing that juice and laying the run line here. Minus 1.5 is minus 136 right now.
Yeah, anytime you get, one of those great teams and great pitchers on the road, usually you're going to get a little bit of a better line, but this is such an overlay of 235 where you just can't consider laying almost 2.5 wagers. I just don't think that that's a prudent wager. But laying a 1.5, you already need them to win the game, so give me an extra run. They're scuffling right now, Houston. Let me see, they had to go up against Yamamoto yesterday. 6 innings, solid pitching, 8-3 victory for the Dodgers. When you're a Houston Astros team who's scuffling, team that you don't want to see coming in is the traveling all-star team known as the LA Dodgers, who are marching towards getting to their 3rd straight World Series victory. Hasn't been done since the Yankees 98, 99, and 2000. Ohtani 2-1 on the year, 0.68 ERA, 0.87 WHIP, 30 innings pitched, exactly 6 innings pitched in every single one of his 5 starts. 35 Ks, hasn't allowed a home run. Yeah, you think he wants to win the Cy Young? Well, Dave Roberts has made it clear he's not going to bat him. And at least now, tonight, he didn't hit him in his last outing as well. He's going to have him just focus on pitching on the days that he pitches. And you're going up against Lambert, ex-Colorado Rocky that did face the Dodgers several times. 1-2 on the season, 3.52 ERA, a whip around 1.25, 15 innings. That's it. 5 innings each outing against some weaker competition than what he's facing today. And in his career, 0-3 in his career against the Dodgers with a 10.13 ERA. I like my chances with the Dodgers laying that 1.5 juggernaut of an offense. It could be one guy one night. It could be another star the next night. Kyle Tucker hasn't done much. Boom, there he goes last night with a home run. 3-hit game from Freeland and Will Smith last night. They're as deep as any team out there. Give me the Dodgers and Ohtani laying a 1.5 to reduce that to a much more reasonable $1.30. And I like my chances with the Dodgers to win by 2 runs or more.
All right. You also like a prop and looking at Ohtani with 8 or more strikeouts. I've been monitoring this one. This one's been moving between $1.25 and $1.35. Right now at Bally's and Queens outlets for DraftKings, plus 135 Ohtani to have 8 or more strikeouts.
Again, he doesn't have to focus on hitting anymore. He's been dominating on the mound, 34 Ks, as we mentioned, in 30 innings pitched, more than 1 per 9 innings. I like him to get that 8 or more, right, at plus $1.30. He's absolutely been lights out in Houston right now, just, battling themselves. They're scuffling. They're not scoring. They're not getting any great pitching. 13 guys on the injured list. 8 of them happen to be on the pitching staff. So they're right now a team that's in trouble, 14-22 record. Dodgers to win that game easy, and Ohtani to put on an absolute show. Wouldn't be shocked to see him get to double digits, but 8 is good enough at a plus $1.30. I'll take it.
All right, let's move to the NBA playoffs and big lopsided matchup tonight in the Western Conference. So Los Angeles pulls a rabbit out the hat. Now, they did get Reeves back mid-series against the Rockets. But Luka is still out at least for games 1 and 2. Oklahoma City, the defending champs, at home, minus 15.5 over the Lakers.
Kind of a crazy number, one would think, but then you look at that regular season, series. 4 games, Oak City won all 4 of them, covered all 4 of them. The closest game was a 9-point victory on the road when they were, I believe, laying 6. Other games, they won by 29, 43, and 36. And those last 2 games were just in April. So this is not really an even close matchup as far as talent. They talk about the passing of the torch. Again, I'm going to age myself here, Jimmy, but I can remember the days of when Dr. J was passing the torch to Magic and Larry Bird. And then Magic and Larry Bird passing the torch, to Michael. And then Michael having to pass the torch to LeBron. Well, they've been talking about it for a few years in the NBA. Who's it going to be? I don't think it's any secret. It's SGA. Look at what the guy has done. He's absolutely dominant. He barely even plays in the fourth quarters because they're usually up by 25 or 30 points in every single one of their games. Later 15 points tonight. SGA, the entire Thunder to get it done. Doncic still out. Reeves back. Williams out for Oak City. I don't think it's going to matter. Oklahoma City at home to just dust the Lakers in what I believe is going to be an extremely quick series. LeBron, again, an incredible job, to get that victory and to get them past the Rockets. But this is an entirely different, level of team right now. Oak City trying to get back to the finals. I don't see the Lakers getting in their way, and especially tonight at home, I'd expect Oak City to win this game by easily 20 points or more.
Dodgers minus 1.5, minus 136. Ohtani, 8 or more strikeouts, plus 135. Oklahoma City minus 15.5 against the Lakers tonight. Again, you want to get involved with Ace in more extensive than his complimentary picks. Text free picks to 631-805-6165. That's 631-805-6165. Nice job, Ace. We'll talk to you on Friday. Good luck.
Best of luck to you as well, Jimmy. Speak to you Friday. Have a great week.
All right, Ace Seminara, veteran handicapper out of New York with that one. Boy, Yankees just not losing, Charlie. They just they swept the Orioles. Tampa Bay has won, I think, is it 9 in a row, 10 of 11? So they're only like game and a half back, but they it was interesting listening to Francesa join Mad Dog yesterday to sort of look back at Sterling's calls historically.
Yeah.
Because Francesa is such a Yankee historian. We just talked about the radio call of so many impactful, Yankee game, during that run. One of the best runs in the history of Major League Baseball. But he says, until they get a series, I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with the Dodgers or compete with whoever comes out of the National League. So, but still, they are. Keep in mind, they don't have Rodon, and help me out the other pitcher that's out right now, the veteran pitcher for them. That's going to be major cogs in the rotation.
I do know they haven't lost very many games at Yankee Stadium. They've got one of the best home records in baseball.
I can't hear.
Garrett Cole, right?
Yes, Garrett Cole. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Garrett Cole and Rodon.
Yeah. He's going to miss the whole year, though, right?
No.
He's going to come back at some point.
They're 12-5 at Yankee Stadium, which is not quite the best record in baseball at home, but very close. Very close.
He's scheduled for a rehab start today, actually.
Okay. Well, what's the record on the road?
The record on the road would be 12-6.
So, yeah.
Actually, it's not much worse than what they are at home. But their home record,
half a game.
Yeah,
you said 12-5 and 12-6.
12-5, 12-6.
It's pretty good. So
there's only 2 other teams I think that are better at home by half a game: the Rays and the Tigers.
But the Blue Jays are having their issues. Baltimore, the same. They're not going to be able to beat. Boston fired their manager already. So it tells you what kind of start they're off to. But the Rays have been so damn good for so long. I'm not sure if they're equipped to maintain, how close they've been. Their wins above some of their advanced stats, and analytics indicate that they may be hitting a little regression back to the mean a little bit. little bit kind of been fortunate for some of their wins right now. The team that's the bargain team, that has been a go-against team, a fade, has been the bookmakers' best friends the last couple of years. The best value team right now is the White Sox. The White Sox are a much improved team. Their team ERA is outstanding. Their pitcher last night, Aldul Soriano, they are. Check out what they did on that road trip. They're like 7-1 on that road trip. The White Sox. White Sox.
They were 5-2 on that road trip, and then they took 3 out of 4 on in most recently.
Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. That AC unit breaks down. Call our friends at Total Maintenance, 480-1000. Easy number to remember, 480-1000. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. My buddy Lucas Ragusa, he's owned and operated this place. Worked in every position in the whole operation to truly understand what it takes to put together a first-rate operation together. He's got staffs and offices in both the New Orleans and Metro Baton Rouge area. Give them a call, 480-1000. Nobody goes to sleep hot when they call Total Maintenance.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Modesto. The Cinco de Mayo block party has already started. Live music starting here at 6 o'clock tonight. Cinco de Mayo celebration here at Modesto. We are just at the corner of Nicholson and Burbank. So come on by and see us.
I'm waiting for Pee Wee Herman to come out and do the little dance. I got tequila.
Oh, okay.
There's a jet blaring on the other side of the dining room. Cinco's in spirit, baby.
I'm ready.
Huh?
I'm ready.
Charlie, don't tell me you've never gotten on a bar and done that little Pee Wee Herman tequila dance, huh?
Well, they just did the Warren Morris 30-year anniversary. I think that the last time I saw somebody dancing on a bar was at Barrett's Barleycorn in 1996.
I think of the tequila song during Sandlot when they're on the merry-go-round.
Yeah. You're killing me, Smalls. Get on by here to Modesto.
At large Marge, stay away from her, Charlie.
Thanks to everybody for participating. We'll be at Mike Anderson's tomorrow. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer.
Lots of festivities tonight over here at Modesto.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.